G'day to my legendary Year 10s. Welcome back to your next lesson on measurement. Today we're doing a quick refresher on perimeter in case you've may have forgotten what it is or you just want some more practice, whatever you need. Alright, so today, perimeter, as you may remember, is just the distance around the outside of a two-dimensional shape. So it's just a length. Okay, so for a quick example, start us off. This rectangle here has length of 9 meters and height of 4. So if we want to find the perimeter, we just write P for perimeter and we add together all the sides. So we do the 9 meters plus the 4 meters, and now there's a 9 on top and 9 on the left as well. Oh, sorry, 4 on the left. So we do plus 9 plus 4. Alright, we add those all up. So 9 plus 4 is 13, and then we double that so we get an answer of 26 meters. Okay, simple as that. So let's start off with some easier examples or more straightforward examples. We're going to find the perimeter of these three figures. So the first one has everything you need. We have the 5 centimeters here, and although my drawing is a bit dodgy, these markings here mean that these lengths are also 5 centimeters. And we have 3.5 centimeters up here, and again the same markings mean the same length. So this up here is going to be 3.5, and these two on the side are going to be 5s and 5s. Okay, so we'll find P for perimeter. Okay, and a handy hint, perimeter starts with a P, and that's why we always P for plus. Okay, not times, you're always plussing. So we're going to do the 5s plus together. Not going to worry about the units, it takes up too much space. We've got the 3 5s, and we've got the two 3.5s. Kind of running out of space here. Okay, or if you want, if you're smarter, you don't want to write all that out, another option you can say is, well, I've got 3 lots of 5 because there's 3 5s there. And I'm adding to that the 2 lots of the 3.5. Okay, so you can multiply and as a bit of a shortcut for some of these, okay? So we've got 3 times 5 is 15. We've got 2 times 3.5 is going to be 7. So we've got 15 plus 7, which is going to be 22. Now we'll put our units in. In the question there was centimeters, so I'm just going to write 22 centimeters. Piece of cake. All right. Now for the next one, the trick to this one is that I've left off a few of the side lengths. I've got the 8 here, the 6 here, 12 and 7, but I haven't given you this length down here or this length up here. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out what these are. And you can figure these out just by having a bit of a look at the question. So we've got, well, if this length here is 8 millimeters and this length up here is 7 millimeters, it kind of makes sense to my eyes that this length down here is going to be the 8 plus the 7, yeah? This length is these two lengths plus together, which works out to be 15 millimeters. Same logic over here. We have that this length all on the side here is 12. We've got that this part here is 6, which means that this part here needs to be 6 as well, because 6 plus 6 would be equal to 12, okay? So that is a 6 millimeter length there. Now that we've got that, let's just add them all up. I'm going to do this down here. So we're going to go perimeter equals, all right, so we're going to do 12 on the left, 15 on the bottom, then we got the 6 on the right, we've got the 8, then the 6 that we put in, and then the 7 on top. Okay. Or again, there is a shortcut for this if you're really clever. Because we said that the 8 and the 7 makes 15, and we said the 6 and the 6 makes 12, the perimeter of this shape is the exact same as if you just went across and then all the way up and then all the way across the top. Okay, so imagine like going across here is going to be the same length as if you went in and up, yeah? So really the perimeter, you can just do a shortcut. You can just say, well, it's going to be 12 plus 15 plus 12 plus 15, okay? No matter which method you take, you will get the correct answer. So 15 plus 15 is 30, 12 plus 12 is 24. And if we add those together, we get 54. Okay, and if you have your calculator nearby, you can confirm that these numbers plus together gives us 54. Okay. Now, slightly trickier for the third one because it's a circle, and to find the perimeter of a circle, we call this the circumference. Okay, C for circumference. And there is a special formula for this, which uses a very special number called pi. What happens is, if you take the diameter of a circle, which is basically the width, yeah, all the way across, if you take the diameter of the circle and you multiply it by pi, which is a number on your calculator, it's 3.1415, so on and so forth, that will give you your circumference. Okay, so you will need a calculator for this one. So the perimeter of this circle, aka the circumference, is going to be our diameter. Now, why is it not 12? Because 12 is just from, 12 is just from the center to the edge, which is what we call the radius. If you want the diameter, you need to double this and say that that is 24. Okay, radius of 12, so diameter of 24. Multiply this by pi. I'm gonna have to grab my calculator for this one. So pi should be above the times 10 to the x in yellow, which means you get to press shift to get there. So 24 times pi, if we do a bit of rounding, my calculator says about 75 points, let's just go 0.4, it's a pretty good rounding. And our units was kilometers. Okay, so that's all there is to it. Just be careful if you got to find your own sides, or if you got to use a formula for some of the more complicated shapes like a circle, but otherwise it's just the distance around the edge. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's go on to level 2. All right, this one's involving a bit of algebra, which is my favorite thing in the world. We have the rectangle below, again, dodgy drawing, sorry, has a perimeter of 42 centimeters. Find the value of x. So what is the height of this rectangle? So that the perimeter of the whole thing is going to be 42 centimeters. Of course, pause and have a go if you think you know what you're doing, but if you just want to watch along, that's fine by me. So the way we're going to approach this is by saying, well, we know the perimeter is what we get when we add up all the sides, yeah? So let's just add them all up. We've got the x on the left, we've got the 12 on the bottom, then we've got the x on the right because it's a rectangle here, so the heights are the same. And we've got the 12 on top as well. Now, what's good about this is that we don't know what x is yet, but we do know what the perimeter is. The question said the perimeter needs to be equal to 42 centimeters. So what you got here is a little equation which you can solve. Okay, we can do the x plus x is going to be 2x. 12 plus 12 is going to be 24. And now we have to find a number that when you multiply it by 2 and then add 24, you get 42. Okay, maybe you can figure this out in your head, but I'm going to solve this like an equation. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this plus 24 off of both sides. So now on the left, that plus 24 is gone, so I've just got the 2x remaining. And on the right, we've got 42 take away 24. So what would that be? We got 18, I believe. Yeah, 18. Okay, and now to solve this, we get rid of that, and we just do both sides divided by 2. That's going to get us our final answer. 18, so the 2 divided by 2, these guys cancel off. And now the 18 divided by 2, we get 9. So we've got x equals 9. Okay, and you can check this. You can go back here and do 9 plus 12 plus 9 plus 12, and you will get 42 centimeters. Awesome. Okay, now for our last one, our level 3, sort of a challenge question, I suppose. We have used Pythagoras' theorem to find the perimeter of this triangle. So if you think you remember what Pythagoras' theorem is and how you can use it to find sides in a triangle, you're welcome to try this one by yourself. But anyway, here's how we approach it. So I'm going to call this unknown side because we're trying to find the perimeter, yeah? So we need all 3 sides of the triangle. Right now I've only given you 2. So we're trying to find this length here. Let's call him x. Now the property we're using is that in any right angle triangle, this is what Pythagoras said. He said that if you take the two shorter sides, which we're calling A and B, okay, so in this case, A is over here, B is over here, these are your two shorter ones. If you take those two sides, you square them, which means multiply by itself, you plus them together, what you're going to get is the same thing as if you did the longer side squared. Okay, so we don't know what x is, but we know that when we square it, it's got to be the same thing as 12 squared plus 16 squared. Okay, so that's our approach. We say, well, 12 squared plus 16 squared is equal to x squared, whatever that is. We'll figure it out in a sec. All right, so 12 squared is 12 times 12, 144. 16 squared is 16 times 16. What's that? Like 256? Let me check. 256. I've still got it. All right, if we add those two together, we're going to get what? 400? Let me just double check. Yeah, 400. So we get 400 equals x squared. So if we're trying to figure out what x is, we need to try and find a number that when we square it, we get 400. Okay, you might be able to figure that out, but if you can't, you can work backwards using your calculator and using a square root. So if you want to find a number that when you square it, you get 400, you do this, square root. Okay, square root. So if we do that, we get, let me just chuck it in, square root 400, calculator says 20. Okay, because when you do 20 squared, 20 times 20, you get 400. All right, that's the hard work done. Now that we have the side length, the question is super simple. Okay, so that's the hard work. Now to find the perimeter, P. We just need to do the, there's not much room there actually. Let me go over here. I want to do the perimeter. We just add up the three side lengths. So we do 12 plus 16 plus 20. And we get an answer of, okay, so 12 plus 16 is going to be 28, plus 20 gets you your 48. And our units was meters. Okay, cool. So as you can see, even though perimeter itself is a pretty straightforward concept, just adding up numbers, you can see some pretty tough examples applied where you need to know a bit of algebra, a bit of Pythagoras, or even some formulas like with the circle. Okay, so hopefully that's a bit of a refresher. For my class, there'll be some more questions on math space for you to have a go at. But that's all from me for today. So I hope you guys learned something or remembered something, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.